project is called EcoBench. I'm Paulo, that's Felipe, and he's Vivi. We're from Chapel School, São Paulo. So, just one quick question. How many of you here got phones that don't last a full day of battery and you always have to recharge before? I'm including. So I guess like most of you right there. And how does the air quality in your city affect your daily life? So I mean, is it dry? Is it really polluted? Have you been coughing lately or something like that? Just getting sick really bad. I know from where I come, we have our air quality is really, really bad, and I've been getting pretty sick lately because of that. And what do you like to know? The air quality, how the air quality is in your neighborhood, just an easy and fast way to diagnose it, and also know the air quality for other cities. Just raise your hand. So, okay, so, and last question is,
do you know what type of energy do you consume? Thermal, oil, nuclear, renewable?
so basically where your energy is coming from in your city and how you consume it. I guess almost no one of you here knows where it comes from. Mostly because our governments don't really show that to us, or it doesn't come in our energy bills. But mostly I know from the US it's mostly coal, which really pollutes the world. In Brazil we have we have some nuclear, and we also have lots of renewable energy, thankfully because of our rivers, but that's not usually the case.
So first I'm going to tell you a little bit about our school. So our school is located at Rua Vigário João de Pontes, 537, São Paulo, SP Brazil. And we have a mission statement and a vision. I'm just gonna read the mission statement. Is in a caring and academically challenging environment, Chapel provides an American-style education to an international student body. Through Christian values, students learn to make informed decisions, to our responsibility for personal actions and community needs, and to respect life and cultural diversity. And our vision is engage, challenge, support, care, for students for life.
Yeah, we're part of the what's called the Makers Club in our school. Our advisor is Clay Fatoza. He's right there. And we have meetings Tuesdays and Fridays from 3:30 to 4:30. And basically our motto, our mission statement is making a difference. So we're a group of students which join to create projects. Usually they're sustainable to solve problems in society. So basically our idea right now is to create a solar charging bench, but we've already been involved in several other projects with our school. So basically our idea, it was inspired by MIT's CE, right here, to create our own solar charging bench, but we want to add some improvements to it. And basically students' phones, they constantly run out of battery before the end of the day. And solar energy, for that matter, is always available, except for when it's cloudy, but we have a solution for that. And these benches, we plan to put them in our school's side of field. We have a soccer field, so students can go there and plug their phones in and charge it. And it's also a great place to make the environment better and have a place for people to talk.
So 101 on solar energy. When the photons from the sunlight, they penetrate the energy cells, and that activates the electrons. The electrons basically slingshot on the solar cells because we're made of different layers, and they they flow in the circuit from the 60 cells, like the 60-watt panel, and they start a closed circuit around because it's metal, and the current of energy then passes through a wire conduit, and it passes through an inverter where it actually changes. That's in the Apple chargers, and from the inverter, the solar generated energy circuit of a household, business, or even a power plant into a region's electrical grid. The solar bench, it's a off of a grid solar type. You put a battery so it can store energy for later use. For example, at night when there's no sunlight.
Okay, so I just want to give a quick cruiser here to give kind of break. That was I think pretty intense. I had to read it a couple times before I understood it. So which country has the highest energy demand supplied by solar energy? Any of you know here?
Germany?
Is it Germany? Anyone else want to give it a shot? Okay. Well, Germany.
Yeah.
So far in 2014, Germany has produced 40.2 billion kilowatt of hours of electricity. That's a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna give some prizes in the end. Those of you who answer the questions great. So second question is, what percentage of the energy demand comes from solar renewable energy? In that case, that's a tricky question.
Less than 5%.
Okay. Anyone
10.
else wanna? 10,
3%.
25. Okay, so
He said
5,
10.
10, 25,
3.
3, 7.
I'm gonna go for 1.
Okay.
So you can see in the graphic the energy demand from the world is like 500. Yeah, a big number, which is and the solar energy annual prediction is like 1,575 exajoule, which is a lot, joules, and which is approximately 32%.
So who said 25 here? That was the highest number. I think you're the closest one. It's actually much bigger than most people think, and that has increased over the years, mostly because solar energy has reduced in price. It used to be very expensive and non-efficient. Right now, it has become very cheap. It has been implemented in several places where electricity cannot reach since it's off the grid. And through the use of several technologies, we have improved efficiency in capturing more light and producing more energy.
And the US now incentivizes people to buy solar energy so they can share with the community. People don't have money.
So the importance of the eco-bench is that the eco-bench will certainly help change the environment for the following reasons. It will make people aware of solar energy, so resulting in a more ecological society. And the solar energy will be available forever. The sun will be here forever. And solar energy is a renewable source of energy, so it does not damage our environment, which is good.
So benefits of solar energy. Solar energy is renewable and sustainable energy, which means we never run out of it. It saves lots of money. When you use solar energy in your house, it decreases the cost of your energy bill. It reduces energy costs, and houses with installed solar panels have more market value nowadays.
In other words, when you're going to sell your house, people look to the solar energy, and since they know they're not going to be paying as much for the electricity bill, your house is going to be valued over others.
It's a reliable energy source because we know the sun is always going to rise and set. And you can make money from the solar panel because in Nevada, in the state of Nevada, people, they sell the solar energy make the community. So like everybody kind of helps one another.
Basically, in other words, is if you're producing more energy than you're consuming, you can take that energy and put it back to the grid. So you'd be giving out to other houses, therefore you're making money. And So not only do solar panels pay for themselves in that case, they will also benefit you, which therefore you have reliable energy. So for example, if you have a power shortage in the grid itself, you will still have energy because you still have the solar panels. Okay, so quickly the components. If the V could pass me a prototype here. Basically it's like this. This is your solar panel. This is a 50-watt solar panel right here. And then 10-watt solar panel, sorry. And then right here we have transistor and a capacitor. So basically this will take the voltage from here and increase it and make it stable, and the capacitor will help it doing so. We also have a fuse, which is this transparent thing right here, which will prevent the over voltage going to the phone right here. Now this is a very small mock-up. Ours will be much bigger than this, and I'll be passing it around if you guys want to take a look at it.
Ours will have a battery because it's off the grid
Okay.
type.
So basically in our final project, we'll have a 50-watt solar panel. So we can now put more power, we can charge our phones faster.
Actually, it's going to be a 60-watt.
60 watts, sorry. And it will obviously be much bigger, and we'll be able to charge 2 phones at once. For the frame, so basically what it's going to be made out of, it's going to be plywood, and it's going to be cut out of this machine which we built. This is a machine which has this small bit in the bottom, and basically we output what we want to it. It's kind of like a 3D printer, but the opposite. And then it will cut out the frame, so we can have precision cuts, which will be easy to assemble, and varnish, obviously, to make it permeable and resistant to water. Black silicon will make the solar panel and the actual frame itself impermeable, and it will make a strong fit. And obviously the waterproof USB connector to charge your phones. We also want to add something called an atmosphere sensor. Basically what it does is it measures several gases, and therefore you can analyze how your air quality is.
With this data, we're going to share it worldwide because MIT has a site where currently it shares their eco-benches data, and we want to join them and share data from São Paulo in our school.
Okay, so basically this is short in planning. We are gonna, after June conference, we're gonna start building the #1 bench, our first one. Then we're gonna implement it in school. We have already talked to the school about this, and they have approved. And we're gonna record feedback, so we wanna see how people are using it, when they're using it. And then we'll add a pollution sensor, which measures several gases, humidity, temperature, and other factors to create and evaluate air quality. This is obviously according to standards which have already been implemented in the industry. So we're not just basically making up our good, bad, and medium chart. We also want to make people aware of the pollution of their school and ways to change that, so using photovoltaic energy. Basically, our biggest goal here is not only providing a place for people to charge their phones, but to create awareness on them as to how they can use renewable sources in their daily lives to help them. So basically, if you plug in your phone into a power outlet, obviously in some cases you're using coal energy, which harms the environment. You could easily be using a solar panel to charge your phone. It will be even more reliable, and it will help the environment. Moreover, just a quick clarification, we also will want to add a battery. So for those of you that are kind of thinking like, well, what if it's foggy, or what if it's at night and the sun has already set? We'll add a battery into our bench. So basically, while it's not giving out the power to their phones, it will be charging the battery. So at night, the phones will be using the power from that battery, not from the solar panel.
So our long-term planning is to implement the Eco Bench throughout São Paulo, and to make São Paulo a more sustainable city, and to bring more solar powering companies to São Paulo and Brazil, and to encourage more people to install solar panels at their homes.
So basically, we want to create a network. We already have some solar benches in Boston, where MIT is located, where the first bench was created. We're talking to them via email, and we want to connect their bench to ours in Brazil. So basically, the person who will be using the bench through software, they'll be able to see how each bench is in air quality, temperature, and other factors. And also inside our city. So for example, if I'm on the east side of São Paulo and I'm going to the west side, and I want to know what's the weather like, because we have a pretty big city and sometimes it might be raining in a place and not raining in the other. Through the benches, we have an easy and accessible way for people to quickly know how the weather will be like. Moreover, we'll also be incentivizing the use of the bench itself, because looking out for the weather and trying to see how the weather is, they'll also be charging their phones. So we're open to questions now. Obviously, we want to work with other schools in our long-term planning, so also add these benches to other schools throughout the South America, North America, or even other continents, so we can create this large grid of solar benches which are connected to one another. Yeah.
I don't know if you thought about this, but how big is the bench going to be?
Okay, so the bench is going to be about a bit taller than this, so people can easily sit on it. And as you saw in the image, let me go back. Right here. So it's going to look something like this. We decided to go with a panel, as they did a bit inclinated to the side, so the sun is always having the best efficiency, so it can hit. And it'll be about medium height as this chair, so people can sit on it. And we also want to create other versions of this bench, so more people can sit, so something a bit longer, sideways, so 2 people, 3 people can sit on it. And those are the basic dimensions. Yeah.
When are you expecting to get this done? And is there a date?
Around April.
Around April next year, I think we'll have our #1 bench already tested through the prototype. Since the prototype, it did go extremely well. Obviously, today is foggy and it's raining, so I won't be able to show you your phone's charging, but we have already tried it and it works flawlessly. Yeah.
I know that these materials probably cost you money, so how did you get the materials and how did you do fundraisers?
The materials were from we expect Stuco. It's a group from the school to...
Stuco is our student council in school, and they'll be working with us to
fund
us the project. It will cost about $300 around that with the panel, all the sensors and the battery. Yeah.
But when there's no sun, is that still gonna work?
Yeah, that's where the battery
where the
comes in.
Then
So, let me explain. You have a solar panel, and if it's not outputting power to your phone, it has to output the power somewhere, also heat up, and that power will go to the battery. So when the solar panel doesn't produce any energy because it's foggy or it's at night, the battery itself will be outputting power to the phone. Yeah.
Like you mentioned, like impermeable, like when you say raining and like when you said some kind of duct tape or something like that. Like what if like when you plug it in, the cable gets like where you plug it in it like gets wet, like is it impermeable too?
Yeah, it's gonna be a waterproof USB cable. That technology already exists.
About how long did it take you to figure out how to make and make the original prototype?
Okay, so they were the ones who first discovered about this. I actually helped build the prototype, so
It took about 1 month to 2 months.
Can you give a little bit more details about, because I was there and it wasn't plug and play, and some of the learning through the process of making this work.
So
Can you,
The first time we did this, it did not actually work because we used the same system the Alpha Grid was gonna use, but with this solar panel, the system that the EcoBench uses, it also like it doesn't, the full energy doesn't get, like with that solar panel we couldn't harness the full energy from the sun because the circuit, this circuit's kind of a bit small. So
And sorry, but moreover, basically the solar panel, depending on the sun, the amount of the strength of the sun, and it will vary on the voltage, and phones don't really like that, and voltage and amperage. So we had the first time we plugged it in, it wouldn't charge our phones because that would be too unregulated, so the phones wouldn't accept it in order for the phones not to break. So I did a bit of research on electricity with the help from our teacher, and we actually found out what transistor and what capacitor to use, and the fuse. So I went and bought those and soldered them together. It's the black part right there, and basically it gets the power from the raw power from the solar panel, and it regulates that, and the power it doesn't use it releases through heat. And therefore it's going to regulate that power. It's about, it's a USB voltage, so 5 voltage, 5 volts, and about, depending on the sun, from 0.5 to 1.5 amps.
to power the full battery from the iPhone, it takes 5.4 watts
Of energy to
get it to full.
any more questions?
The cable will be like already connected with the seat, or you bring your own cable?
We're still looking into that. CD, it only has a USB port. We're looking to actually provide already cables, because I know it'll be a big hassle for people to just carry around cables so they can plug it in. So we'll probably have cables already provided.
But it's because everybody has a different type of phone.
Oh yeah. All different connections. So iPhone and mini USBs and others.
You guys said you already charged your phone once, like testing that. How long did it take to get a full charge?
I was at about 50%, and it took me about I think 2 hours around that. But it was a bit foggy. We had some clouds, and my phone doesn't really do well with battery. I mean, I'm at 30% right now, and I took it out this morning.
Really depends on the conditions too
Yeah.
outside.
Quick question: does any of you guys under school do they have solar panels or like any renewable source energy?
We have it in our pool so that it heats up, so it keeps the pool like hot and at a good temperature.
Yeah. I think we're good. So thank you. This was our idea, and I hope to maintain contact with you guys through email. I wrote down my email right here, so you can guys contact us so we can open up the network of these benches, and in the future have a full grid.